Biden documents to a new Washington Post report that says that Twitter actually went out of its way to avoid censoring conservatives, to an announcement tomorrow over whether Baldwin will face criminal charges. There is a lot going on. And who better to talk to when a lot is going on, from politics to law, than Megyn Kelly, host of the Megyn Kelly Show on Sirius XM's Triumph Channel 111. Every day at noon Eastern. She can also be found at youtube.com/Megyn Kelly. Megyn, great to see you. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
All right, a lot I want to get to here. Before I want to get your take on the Biden documents and how it could impact the Trump case, let's talk about Alec Baldwin, the DA in New Mexico, announcing tomorrow whether charges will be filed. What do you think?
I mean, part of me is like, well, I'll believe it when I see it, because they've been doing this over and over. Tomorrow's the day. This is the week. Now we're about to charge 4 people. We're just not going to tell you who they are for months now. So it's like, okay, I'll believe it when I see the guy at the lectern in front of the microphone telling me what's happening. They're under enormous pressure to go after Alec Baldwin. I've thought all along this is a better civil case against him than it is a criminal case. But given the amount of pressure, and given the public statements he's made and how he's turned people against him, he's sort of putting himself in grave danger day by day. So I won't be surprised if they announce a criminal charge, but if I had to put money on it, I would say none against him.
But the DA just recently asked for hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional funding to continue working on the case. One would think that might be a clue.
So yes, but they do that all the time in order to bolster their budget. I mean, he's probably going to charge a couple of people. I mean, perhaps the armorer, perhaps the guy who provided the ammo to the set. It depends on what their investigation has found in terms of who actually was responsible for those live rounds getting on there, on the set in the first place and then in the gun. But of course, he's just trying to get as much money as he can because he had to bring in outside prosecutors to help him. And he's going to have to do that whether Alec Baldwin is charged or not. So I think he dangled the Alec Baldwin name so he could boost the budget. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to charge him.
Right. All right. I'll give you my prediction later, and I'll be talking to the top criminal defense lawyer in all of New Mexico. She's the head of the Criminal Defense Lawyer Association there. We'll talk about that later in the show. Okay. Let's talk about the revelations surrounding Joe Biden's classified documents. How do you think it will impact the Trump investigation?
I think Biden just saved Trump. I think Trump should send Biden an enormous present of some sort because I think they were on the precipice of charging Trump. I thought his goose was pretty much cooked on that case and that they were going to bring charges against him, despite how extraordinary it would be to charge a former president with a crime. And this has erased any possibility in my mind that that's going to happen. It's not to say that the two situations are identical. It's just to say that they're similar enough that as a political matter, which is going to be in the thoughts of the DOJ. It's not all about whether he violated the law or he violated the law. It's become unpalatable for them to pursue charges against Trump.
So, look, I agree with you that there's going to be a political element to this. I have long believed that the Attorney General didn't want to charge Trump for those very reasons. But here's the challenge, right? You get a situation where the special counsel in the Trump case, Jack Smith, goes to the AG, says, I've concluded my investigation. I think charges ought to be brought. Here are the charges that I think are appropriate. The special counsel in the Biden case either hasn't completed his investigation or completes the investigation and says, I don't think charges should be brought in this case. How does the AG say no after appointing Jack Smith the special counsel and takes his document, his recommendations, and say, you know what, not going to do it?
I imagine that there'd be some massaging before that point. And even if there weren't some massaging, it's up to Merrick Garland, ultimately. It's not up to Smith. And Merrick Garland has to take the interests of the country into account. And of course, he's going to be speaking with the Biden White House. I don't believe for one second that there won't be a conversation there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. Come on.
You're convinced that,
you think
that
Merrick
they're all in
Garland
cahoots?
is not political? He's not political at all?
Wait, but you're going to say that on the investigation that involves Joe Biden, where they just hired a special counsel to come in and investigate it independently, that you think that they're going to go and talk to the Biden administration about
We're talking about Trump right now. I thought we were talking about Trump and what they're going to do on Trump. I wouldn't put anything past this AG. I think he's extremely political. So I don't know. But I think we both know it's up to Merrick Garland, ultimately, special counsel or no. And he's not stupid. He's not a stupid man. And he's not going to tear the country apart under these facts when he's got two guys who both withheld classified documents, had classified documents, including top secret documents that they shouldn't have had. And the only real difference that the public's going to get about Trump is that he submitted an affidavit from a lawyer saying we've given you everything, and they hadn't. That's the extra step Trump took that Biden didn't take. That's not enough to tear the country apart at its very core when you've already got Trump announcing he's running for president and Biden is presumably about to.
When you say that Garland is political, do you mean he's politicized or he's politically aware?
No, I think he's politicized. I think he's
So if he's politicized, then why didn't he charge him already? If he wanted to go after Trump, he could have gone after him a long time ago.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.